Welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm Sarah Stewart. I'm the minister here. It is wonderful to have all of you with us this morning. I'm leading worship this morning with our Director of Music, Allegra Martin, Assistant Director of Music, James Haupt, Director of Faith Development, Samantha Namath, Assistant Director of Faith Development, Abigail Hannaford-Ricardi, and our broadcast tech, Eugene Rossi. Sue and Bob Shaw are our head ushers. Music this morning is offered by our adult choir, and they and Allegra will be helping us to learn and sing some songs from the Worcester Peace Choir, which was co-founded by all sorts of people we know. Kristen Carney, who has sung here, Matt Johnson, the music director at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Worcester, and Nan Gibbons, who used to help us run our We Agora summer program. These songs inspire activism and work for peace. Here at First Unitarian Church, we strive in loving fellowship to honor the sacred, connect with each other, and serve justice. We are a welcoming congregation. Whatever your age, race, class, or nationality, you are welcome here. Single people and families of all kinds are welcome here. LGBTQ folks are welcome here. Those of all physical and mental abilities are welcome here. The doors of this church are open to all, and we are delighted that you are with us today. I welcome those of you who are joining us online. You can like this video to help others find us and subscribe to our channel to find more content. The best way to learn more about everything we do together as a church is to subscribe to our newsletter. You can go to firstunitarian.com and click subscribe to the newsletter at the bottom of any page. And if you're in the Worcester area, I invite you to join us every Sunday at 10:30 for worship and fellowship here at 90 Main Street. Everybody is welcome to a social hour after the service through either of these doors at the front of the sanctuary, and this door on my left is the accessible entrance. If you're a newcomer, please stop by the welcome table in the church parlor to pick up a gift bag, meet a volunteer. I think Karen Riley will be there this morning to introduce you to the church, answer questions you might have, and you can fill out a visitor form. That will make sure that we have a name tag for you next Sunday. It will get you subscribed to our newsletter, and it will allow me to reach out and introduce myself. There are announcements in the order of service, and I have a few additional announcements this morning. First, some music announcements. So next Sunday, our lay worship team is leading an Earth Day service, and everybody is welcome for that. That's Sunday the 26th. The Sunday after that, May 3rd, is our Spring Music Sunday, which I know we're all excited about. The choir is singing a movement from the Benjamin Britten piece today that they'll be performing in its entirety on May 3rd. But that afternoon is the first of our spring concert series, A Little Knit Music. So there are two requests for that concert series. The first is, the idea is you can come to these concerts and you can do your handwork, your crafting, your knitting, or crocheting while you enjoy the music. It's not only okay, it's encouraged. So Sue Shaw, one of our knitters in the congregation, is organizing yarn bombing of the sanctuary for this Sunday and the following concert. Yarn bombing is a very peaceful activity. It's where you cover objects in the world with knitted or crocheted fabric. So if you're interested in just making some fabric of any dimension that we could wrap around our pillars, please see Sue during coffee hour to be part of the fun. And the other is if you would like to usher for that afternoon's concert. Allegra's looking for a few ushers, so please see Allegra. The other music announcement is that I would like to introduce to you two tenors who have been singing with our choir this spring, Aidan Ladd and Sam Wattier. They are, yes? They are choral scholars from WPI, students at WPI. Thank you so much. And they are singing this afternoon at a concert at Mechanics Hall, put on entirely by WPI ensembles in honor of Robert Goddard. So feel free to go hear more of Sam and Aidan this afternoon at 3. This morning is a social justice Sunday. We will hear reflections from two of our members, Ken Hannaford-Ricardi and Courtney Kurlanska, on the power of social justice work in their lives. And we will engage in a ritual to support us in the long work toward building beloved community and a better world for all. Much of this work is taken from writing by the Unitarian Universalist ministers Emily Conger and Aisha Ansano. And I am grateful to our Social Justice Council, who are Courtney Kurlanska, Allison Barrows-Ron, and Kara Sanford, for their collaboration in this service. You can see details of our justice work that they have compiled in your order of service. I want to lift up one in particular. The third item on that list is the College Behind Bars Mentors. We have two teams who are mentoring incarcerated college students right now, and we are looking to put together a third team. There's a presentation from the organization we work with, Partakers, happening today in the chapel. I'm looking for Jean Thierkoff, is that correct? In the chapel at noon. Yes, that's right. So if you're interested in that work and being a companion to an incarcerated person in Massachusetts who is also getting their college degree, please come and learn more. It's been transformative for our volunteers who are doing it already. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. We come together this morning to remind one another, to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment, until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see their communion, the reflection of our own eyes. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope, is hallowed by our presence together.
Ask the bottom floor are lighting our chalices.
We light this chalice. Please rise in body or spirit to renew the covenant of our church, which is printed in your order of service and appearing on your screen. In the love of truth and in the spirit of Jesus, we unite for the worship of God and the service of all.
Stay standing for the first hymn. The words are going to appear up here, so you don't really need to get your hymnal out, and it's very repetitive. You're all going to be singing the main melody with me, and then the choir is going to be doing a little response behind us. So here we go. So I'm going to sing the melody twice, and then you're going to join in with me twice, and then we're going to kind of get into the main body of the song. So here we go. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom, freedom is coming. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom, freedom is coming. Oh, freedom, oh, freedom, oh, freedom, freedom is coming.
thought I wasn't loud enough. Good morning again. For those that don't know, I do the social media for First Unitarian, and I just want to put a little buzz out there that if there are so many wonderful groups and activities happening at First U, and I would love if anyone who's there to take a picture. You have two options: to email them to me, which my email is in the order of service, or you can go to the Facebook page of First Unitarian and just message it there, whichever is easier. I want to show the community how wonderful First Unitarian is, and I can do that better through everyone else's eyes and everyone else's actions. So thank you. Today after church, we have our YOU2 high school youth group meeting. And then please mark your calendars for May 31st. That is our coming of age youth service. The youth have been working year-round with their mentors and learning and exploring, and they have really put in a lot of energy and effort to that self-discovery journey. Today's story is Wangari's Trees of Peace. Wangari lives under an umbrella of green trees in the shadow of Mount Kenya in Africa. She watches the birds in the forest where she and her mother go to gather firewood for cooking, and she helps harvest the sweet potatoes, sugarcane, and maize from the rich soil. When Wangari shines in school and when she grows tall like the trees in the forest, she wins a scholarship to study in America. 6 years later, her studies over, Wangari returns to her Kenya home and she sees a change. What has happened, she wonders. Where are all of the trees? Wangari sees women bent from hauling firewood miles and miles from home. She sees barren land where no crops grow. And where are the birds? Thousands of trees have been cut down to make room for buildings, but no one planted new trees to take their place. Will all of Kenya become a desert? She wonders as her tears continue to fall. Wangari thinks about the barren land, and she begins to replace some of the lost trees there in her own backyard, one tree at a time. She starts by planting 9 seedlings. Watching the seedlings take root gives Wangari the idea to plant more, to start a farm for baby trees, a nursery. In an open space, she plants row after row of the tiny trees. Next, Wangari convinces the village women that planting trees is a good thing. She gives each one a seedling. Our lives will be better when we have trees again. You will see we are planting the seeds of hope. The women spread out their seedlings across the village in long rows like a green belt stretching over the land. The government men laugh. Women can't do that. It takes trained foresters to plant trees. The women ignore the laughter and they keep planting. Wangari pays them a small amount for each seedling that is still living after 3 months. Those were their first earnings ever. Word travels like wind rustling through the leaves about a green returning to Wangari's village. Soon, other women in other villages, in towns and cities in Kenya, are planting long rows of seedlings as well. But the cutting continues. Wangari was standing tall as an oak to protect the oldest trees still remaining. We need a park more than we need an office tower. But the government men disagreed. Wangari had blocked their way, so they hit her with clubs. They called her a troublemaker, and they put her in jail. However, she still stands tall. Right is right, even if you are alone. But Wangari is not alone. Talk of the trees spreads all over Africa, like ripples in Lake Victoria. More women hear the talk and plant even more seedlings in longer and longer rows. The seedlings take root and grow tall until there are over 30 million trees when there were none. The umbrella of green in Kenya returns. Women walk tall, their backs straight, for now they can gather firewood closer to home. The land is no longer barren. Sweet potatoes, sugarcane, and maize grow again in the rich red earth. The whole world hears of Wangari's trees and of her army of women who planted them. And if you were to climb to the very top of Mount Kenya today, you would see the millions of trees growing below you and the green Wangari brought back to Africa. I would like to invite our children, friends, youth, and volunteers to our classes. My Soul Matters group, we are also going to Unity Hall, and coming of age, we're meeting in the chapel. Thank you.
Good morning. It's a difficult reflection for me to give because although I've been involved in social justice work for a long, long time, it's difficult for me to define what it is. I think many folks here, if asked to define what is doing social justice work, would fall back on an image of a large group of people, hundreds, thousands, or of course here at home, of Dr. King working to eliminate racial injustice in a country that refuses to stop being racially unjust. But most of us don't think of the many, many people working singly or in groups of 2 and 3 to solve a small social problem in their own backyard. A couple of years ago, there was an undergrad student at Holy Cross College who lived not far from Worcester, and when he would go home, he visited a nursing home there. And he came to realize that there was a problem at this nursing home that I think many, many nursing homes face. And that's that there were residents who never got a visitor. And he wondered if he could do anything about it. So he talked to the administrators at the home, and then he went home and talked to his very best friend, his mother. And he came up with a small plan, and that was to gather around him a handful of people. And their only commitment had to be that they went out into the community and they found one homebound elder each. And they would visit that person once a month for an hour or two. Now, I never met the young man. I did meet his mother after the program had gone on for a while, and the young man had gone off, graduated from the cross, and gone off to seek his fortune. And his mother had stayed behind to direct the program, because the program had now reached 80 volunteers. It had started off with a handful, and now had reached 80. Now, my arithmetic really is always suspect. But if I've got 80 people, each visiting someone once a month for 12 months, I've got 960 visits a year. 960. Now, how many people did that positively affect? No one knows. But what I do know is that the ripples from this young man's effort stretched far beyond the nursing home and the town where he lived. And when I think of that student story, I think of this church and the idea of caring circles. Do you need a ride to a medical appointment? Maybe to go grocery shopping? Maybe you need someone to come over the house just to shoot the bull with you. Well, in every week's newsletter, there's a blurb for the caring circles, and you can pick up the phone, and someone will come, and someone will drive you to that medical appointment or to that grocery store, or come over to your house and talk with you. Then there's the project that I think of at this church that every time I think of it just blows me away. If I took every guy in this parish and said, let's move us all over to this side, and I gave you a pencil and a piece of paper, and I said, write down 4 or 5 little projects this church could tackle to help make people's lives a little bit easier. The number of guys who would sit there and write, let's see, we could get the money and go out and buy and distribute feminine hygiene products to people who need them in the community. I bet you the number of guys would approach 0. Now, the ladies in this parish are going, oh, yeah, right? Well, I don't think you'd do much better. And yet, somebody thought of that idea. And now we have month after month after month, people raising money, purchasing, and distributing those products. And what about the kids? Well, the Why Are You Too kids, or if there are any here, young adults, who gave their own hands to transforming a doorway in this church that was handicapped inaccessible into a handicapped accessible doorway, so that people in wheelchairs, so that people with canes could easily get into the church in the doorway to sit where you're sitting now. How about those folks? Is that social justice work? You bet it is. And how about the littlest ones among us? The Easter egg hunt. You know Easter egg hunts, right? Chocolate bunnies, gooey little marshmallow peeps, and the dentist's dream, the jelly bean. I swear that a dentist invented the jelly bean. Those little kids tossed those aside and took those little eggs, you've seen them, and filled them with coins, and with the help of their folks at home, loaded them up with $654.11 that went to the Regional Environmental Council. Yeah, right. And these are the little kids whom society starts at their age going, we want you to be the perfect consumer, you know? I see it, I want it, I have to have it now. And yet this church is saying, maybe you could look at life a little bit differently. Is all of that social justice work? It is. Is all of it as important as what Dr. King did and Gandhi did? Yeah, it is. So when Reverend Stewart said, would you guys just give a little bit about what social justice work has done for you? I thought for a while, and my answer is simple. What social justice work has done for me at this stage of my life is it's allowed me to meet you. It has allowed me to meet you as a parish in little groups, like at the clinic on Monday night, and as individuals. And that's the thing that for the last days of my life will sustain me. And for that, I can only thank you all very much.
To paraphrase the 19th century Unitarian minister Theodore Parker, although the arc of the moral universe is a long one, and although we cannot experience its full curve, we still deeply believe that it bends toward justice and that we can have a part in bending it that way. Together, we are striving to bend the arc, to build beloved community, to build a world rooted in love and justice with accountability and sustainability at its core. This is an important commitment that will take all of us. And not just us, it will take generations. We build on the legacy of those who have come before us, and we do our part during our lifetimes. And we will pass on what we have done to those who come after, creating foundations upon which they can build. We may experience some of the results of our efforts, but their effects spread in ways that we may never fully know. It can be hard to stay committed to such a long task with few clear results. In order to make this powerful, sustaining generational transformation, we must create a space for ourselves that is sustainable, that nourishes us even as we do so much, that allows us to continue on even when things are challenging. For our prayer now, we will hear a litany of these challenges that we face, and after each one, we will all respond by saying, "Together we journey in love." We are confronted with our fears of doing or saying the wrong thing. Together we journey in love. We wonder if we have the capacity to do this, if we are enough to do this, if we are the right ones to do this. Together, we journey in love. We face the scary possibility that we have not built trusting, accountable relationships. Together, we journey in love. We worry that we are not following the lead of those most affected by what we are addressing. Together, we journey in love. We fear that we won't learn from our mistakes and will continue to make them. Together, we journey in love. We worry that it will be hard to follow through on our vision with time, money, and other resources. Together, we journey in love. We know that institutions move as slowly as glaciers, and fear that ours will move more slowly than the speed of trust. Together, we journey in love. We face systemic problems that are embedded and entangled in everything. Together, we journey in love. We fear that in the face of so much, we might freeze and our institutions might die. Together, we journey in love. We face our own internalized oppression, taking in all that our society has told us is true about ourselves and the world around us. Together, we journey in love. We worry that our approach may be unsustainable and cause us to burn out. Together, we journey in love. I invite you now to bring to mind other challenges, fears, and worries that you face in your work for justice, and offer a prayer to the spirit of community which sustains us all. And we respond together. Together, we journey in love. Amen.
This next song comes to us from the Worcester Peace Choir. It's a call and response song. So if you just echo what you hear me do, then together we will be putting the song together. The night is long, and still we rise, no backing down, we won't be quiet, no fear and pain are in our streets, our voices roll.
Please continue your own thoughts and meditations in silence. This time of prayer and meditation, we share the prayers of our community with one another. One among us lights a candle for safety and personal bests for those running the marathon tomorrow. Jeff lights a candle in gratitude for all those who participated in the Regional Environmental Council's Earth Day cleanup yesterday. One among us lights a candle for peace in the Middle East, in Iran and Sudan. Stan and Liz Gustafson light a candle of joy that they were married in this sanctuary 41 years ago. And Marjorie Ropp lights a candle in memory of her husband, Paul, who died 7 years ago today. She also lights this candle in deep gratitude for friends from this supportive church community who have been her lifeline. We hold these prayers of hope and celebration and memory in our hearts. We know there are those joys and sorrows that go unspoken among us, so we reach out to one another in compassion as we say together the prayer of Jesus. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Our ministries at First Unitarian Church thrive because of your support. One of our most powerful ministries as a church is our We Agora summer program. Over 100 children every summer learn the values of Unitarian Universalism through play, magic, learning, and community. Will you raise your hand if you have been involved in We Agora in any way over the years that we've had this program? Thank you all for your time and effort. Each year, we seek to offer scholarships to children so that they can attend We Agora if they couldn't otherwise afford it. This allows children whose families can't afford day camp to be part of the magical We Agora community. Our fundraiser for We Agora scholarships is only open for another 3 weeks this year. If you want to make a donation through the Unitarian Universalist crowdfunding platform Faithify, there's a QR code on the insert in your order of service. We also welcome your donations to the good work of the church. There's a different QR code on the order of service for that, and the ushers will also be receiving the offering. Thank you for your contributions for these good ministries of our church.
Keep on
Our reading is the poem Spilling the Light by Julian Jamaica Soto. In this community, we hold hope close. We don't always know what comes next, but that cannot dissuade us. We don't always know just what to do, but that will not mean that we are lost in the wilderness. We rely on the certainty beneath, the foundation of our values. We are the people who return to love like a north star and to the truth that we are greater together than when we are alone. Our hope does not live in some glimmer of an indistinct future. We know the way to the world of which we dream. By covenant and the movement forward of one right action and the next, we know that one day we will arrive at home.
Morning, everybody. I'm Courtney. Some of you might know me. I've been coming here for a few years now. I'm on the Social Justice Council, and so I work to support all of the wonderful work that people here at the church do in the social justice area. One of the things you might not know about me is I was raised Catholic, so, been there, done that. But every Sunday when I was in high school, I would wake up early. I never went to Mass, that wasn't my thing, but I would make coffee and muffins for all of the parishioners. And that kind of volunteering is what really got me started in this kind of work. But I'll be honest for you, I didn't go there to help people. I went there to socialize, right? I went there to hang out with my friends and do a good thing while I was at it. And so, that was really the start of understanding this connection between service work and community and the human connection behind all of it. In college, I did not volunteer at all. I was very focused on my work. I was very selfish in a sense. And so after college, I decided to join the Peace Corps. That is one of those things where I went for 3.5 years to go and do things for other people and volunteer my life and my time. And it was really during my time in the Peace Corps that shaped my life to the extent that it is today. And what I began to see was a difference and an understanding between doing the volunteer work I'd done in the church, which was great and wonderful, and what I came to kind of see and understand as social justice work. And while they're overlapping, for me, I think there's a big difference between the population you're helping and the kind of service you're doing when you do social justice work. And what stands behind that is equity, right? When I'm working towards social justice and when I'm doing and supporting all of the wonderful work of this church, all of these programs are working toward equity and helping people to have the same or similar opportunities and experiences that you might have on a daily basis, that our position of privilege gives us without even really thinking about it. And so when I worked with the women in the Peace Corps, doing family gardens, or I started a library with the little kids and I would have story time, reading Harry Potter in Spanish teaches you a lot of ways to say whisper. I'll just tell you that. But it really came down to the human connection that I made with those people, and that's what made it meaningful for me, is looking at them, growing with them, understanding them, and developing compassion for their lives and their experiences. And I think that is the start, right? And while I was in the Peace Corps, I saw so many failed development projects. So there's so much convergence between the story we had today and what Ken was saying earlier and our experiences. What happened with me and what really pushed me to where I am right now is that watching all of those failed development projects, people, organizations trying to do social justice, but not being successful about it, pushed me to go to grad school, right? And so I went on to graduate school, and there I studied community-engaged sustainable development. So I could better help people live up to their potential, and I could better empower people to make real change in their lives. So real social justice work for me, and what I strive to do, isn't just helping those in need. That's the first step. But it's really empowering people to be able to help others and move forward. You guys all know the saying, right? If you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. And if you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. On my office door, I actually have a different version. And I have to read it because it's a little convoluted. But if you give someone a fish, they eat for a day. If you teach someone to fish, they can feed themselves until the water is contaminated or the shoreline is seized for development. If you teach someone to think critically and be politically conscious, then whatever the challenge, they can organize with their peers and stand up for their interests. So when I think of the work I do at WPI, I am that professor that they warn you about, because I get your students and your children to ask those hard questions, to question why things are being done. And I want to empower them to change lives, their lives, the lives of others, and I want to help them understand why this is important and the roots of the inequality that surrounds us. So again, relating to what Kent was saying earlier, I know that many of us think of social justice work as being on the front lines, protesting, working with the homeless, even impact investing, right? And all of these things do contribute to social justice. But those things are just the tip of the iceberg, right? Many of us do social justice quietly every day with how we support our friends and neighbors towards equity. The way we vote, the policies we support at work or at home. And social justice is all about how we treat one another and trying to empower others to do the same. Thank you.
We have named the power and possibility of beloved community and the challenges that we are each facing on the path toward it. Holding these, I ask you to think about what blessing you need to receive to help you move toward beloved community, to help you take the next step, to help you keep hope and heart in the journey, to keep engaging in the long work of making justice. Think about the blessing that you need to hear now in silence. In a moment, I'm going to invite you to turn to someone near you and share with that person the blessing that you need to hear that you just thought of. And after you hear the blessing your neighbor needs, offer it to them. For example, I might say, I need the blessing of joy to continue to show up for my community meetings. And you might respond with, may you be blessed with joy. You can ask for a very specific blessing or a very general blessing, and of course you can pass if you prefer. We'll have about 2 minutes to do this, a short conversation. We'll do it for each other, and I will call us back together again with the chime of a bell. Please begin. If you want. This commitment that we are making together of building beloved community and sustaining one another, it is challenging and it is a long-haul commitment. It can only be done through learning, growing, and supporting one another in community. Some of how we support one another is by literally providing sustenance to each other, feeding the bodies and spirits of our community to allow us all to continue moving forward. To embody this practice of finding nourishment for the long haul and supporting one another in it, we are going to do a ritual of nourishing one another. I made granola for all of you. It is gluten-free and it is nut-free. It is not necessarily safe if you have celiac disease because the oats didn't promise not to contain wheat. Our ushers are going to start handing out the small cups of granola. I'm a hiker, as you know, and granola is a great snack for the long haul, whether on the hiking trail or a family outing, because it's nourishing and it's tasty and it's easy to store. Like I said, our granola is nut-free and gluten-free. It does contain sunflower seeds. Take a cup, as the ushers can go ahead and start, but don't eat your cup yet. So go ahead and we'll pass this out. So first, I'm going to offer a blessing on this food. And actually, can I ask one of the ushers just to come up? Because I think we in the pulpit need our granola as well. Hold up your cup. I'm going to offer a blessing to begin. We give thanks for this food, for the fruits of the good earth and the labor of human hands which brought it to us today. May it nourish us for the long haul. And now I invite you to look around the sanctuary and say the blessing with me and to one another in unison. I offer this nourishment for the long haul. I offer this nourishment for the long haul. And we eat our granola together to receive this blessing that we have all offered one another. We give thanks for the blessing. Amen. Our closing hymn is number 170 in your gray hymnals. We are a gentle, angry people. We will sing stanzas 1, 2, 4, and 6. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing. Go forth into the world in peace. Be of good courage. Hold fast that which is good. Render to no one evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the afflicted. Honor everyone. Love and serve the holy, rejoicing in the power of the Spirit forever. Amen.
Please remain standing. Let me try that again. You're going to be happier if I start breaking. There